Yeah, I've had issues with a lot of guys, and Chastain's been the most frustrating one because he has it every single week. So when it happens with you, because it's every single week and it's so repetitive with one guy, that then you get even more frustrated because it's like the guy hasn't even learned a single lesson, any bullet point of what the problem is. There's a common denominator. And he's got an aggressive style. We all want to say that he is and whatever. Well, we're all aggressive to a point because we're all going to push hard and try to, make runs or get spots, get good finishes, things of that nature. Are you talking about afterwards? Like, did that need to happen afterwards? Yeah. I don't know if Noah was the right guy. I think Denny has more reasons to do that, but Noah obviously wanted to show his frustration, and I think Noah had somewhat similar philosophy as I did, where it's like the same guy all the time. I'm not gonna take that crap and go up to him and confront him, but I feel like security stepped in about 10 seconds too quick. So you let one guy get a hell of a hit in, and then you block the other guy from getting a hit back. Like, you gotta at least let the guy try and then maybe get in. But I would seriously urge NASCAR to go with some hockey rules. Once you get to the ground, we're going to break it up, or once one of you guys looks gassed, we're going to break it up. So let them get a good 30 seconds in. It's going to be way better for TV, and ratings are going to go off the charts.
Deb Williams, Auto Week. Kyle, every time somebody wins, we hear, oh, they're in the playoffs now. They can just focus on getting ready for the playoffs. For you, psychologically, how does a win affect you? Do you just kind of not relax, but go, breathe a sigh of relief and go, okay, I'm in the playoffs now, I can focus on just racing? Or how does that affect you?
Yeah, no, it definitely changed. There's a lot of things that change in that. And so by being able to get a win, I would say, yes, it relaxes you to a point where you're able to say, okay, I'm in the playoffs. You're not stressed out about every single move all the time, and what positions gained or lost are going to do for you. I would say for me right now, having the wins that we have, I'm still super, super frustrated in our last couple of weeks. And now dropping 12th in points, I think it is, or whatever, So I'm still under the mindset and thought process to get as many points as we can, get ourselves up the points ladder. We need to be able to contend for stage points. We have probably the least amount of stage points this year of anybody. So it's very frustrating in that respect for us. So we just got to get our act together and run up front. A lot of that's on me too, like me speeding on pit road, right? I'm winning that award this year, but I'm also number one rolling on pit road this year too. So, what's the risk versus reward there? We're always going to push, and having that win allows you to push, right? It allowed us to push fuel at Talladega to grab another win. You're going to put yourself in some, tighter spots on restarts and things like that because you do have that win, and you're going to be a little bit more aggressive. And, as long as you don't look like Ross Chastain, you'll be fine.
We'll go to Al, then to Jordan.
Yeah, Kyle, Al Pierce from Auto Week. Is the pressure to win, whether internal pressure or sponsor or whatever, is the pressure to win these days creating more drivers willing to be aggressive, more so than maybe 15 years ago?
Yeah, I think a little bit of this car and the parity of this car allows drivers to be more aggressive and push harder because they feel like they're the difference and they need to make up the difference if they're not running up front or contending every week. And so they're going to push harder and run into more stuff and run into more guys because they're trying to get a better finish or whatever out of themselves. And so, you used to have cars that had a little bit of discrepancy between them when you go to the racetrack, and the good guys that ran good would know that they were good and would race for wins, and then the others that are 12th on back know their place and they're going to run 12th on back. Well, now those guys 12th on back think that if they do some things on restarts and whatnot to get themselves further up front, that they're going to finish further up front, and they're not 100% wrong, but there is a place in there where you still got to find your home in the running order.
We're going to go to Jordan, then to Chris.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. Have you tried to have a conversation with Ross, or is that kind of like the Denny Hamlin thing where it just fell on deaf ears and it really wasn't worth the time and the energy?
Yeah, I talked to him. I think it was either after the Darlington thing with Harvick here or his next one after that. And he asked me a couple questions, and I talked to him about it and just, told him don't be the headline every week and chill a little bit and, don't push and force as hard each week. Like those two, whether Harvick won or whether Chastain, he would have looked a hell of a lot better finishing second to Harvick than he did with a crash car here at Darlington, So he just, he hasn't learned. He hasn't listened to anybody. I'm sure there's more than me that just try to talk to him. So I'm not sure what that is. I don't know the guy. Don't need to know the guy.
Chris Weaver with Fox 8 WGHP High Point. Kyle, looking ahead a couple of weeks to the Coke 600, we lost Bruton Smith this past year. What kind of memories do you have about him and the way he ran things and the way he evolved the sport over the years?
Yeah, to me, Bruton's just a class act. I mean, he obviously has a knack for fans and putting on a show, and hired one of the best of them, Humpy Wheeler, long time ago to run Charlotte Motor Speedway, and so he certainly has done a lot for our sport, and with SMI and all the racetracks that they have, and seeing and having a vision of a lot of different things that have come through, and he's kind of led that on to Marcus, and I feel like Marcus has really done a great job of being a visionary as well and trying things, not being afraid to try some things. A couple of them probably not so good ideas, Texas repave, but the rest of it. But with Bruton, I mean, give the guy and the family credit where credit's due. They put a lot of time and effort, blood and sweat into our sport, and it's very appreciative.
No.
No, Lewis, TSJ Sports. Kyle, back to the fights deal. We've seen also that there are times where crew members get involved. I think with you and Logano years ago, you kind of got taken right down by crew members. Same concept where the crew members should all stay out of it. They want to protect you guys, but kind of stay out of it, let you guys handle it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to a point. I don't know what the rodeos are 8 seconds, right? I mean, a round in boxing is 3 minutes. There ain't a damn one of us that's going to make a round of 3 minutes. I'm going to tell you that. If it's 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, come up with a number, start the clock. Let's go.
Go to Mark.
I think, speaking of Humpy Wheeler, you should not have given him that idea years ago. Mark
Humpy could probably make it 3 minutes in a round.
Yeah.
He was a ring guy. He liked that.
Yeah. I used to watch him and Bobby Hillin spar up near his office there.
Yeah.
Mark Carroll, PRN. Kyle, Austin had a chance to test tires up at Wilkesboro. Was up there that day. Given maybe some of his feedback, what kind of race do you expect up there, and how much are you looking forward to North Wilkesboro in the All-Star race there?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting for sure. The tire fall off and the racetrack is by far the worst I think we'll ever see. So 50, 60 lap runs on tires that you got to go is I mean, that's a long time anyways, but it's not quite 100 laps like late model races or modified races that are going to run there next week. But still, I think you're going to have to figure out how hard to push. If you're a guy up front, do you push for a little while? If you're a guy in the back, how much do you ride? Is the field going to catch up, and are you going to go a lap down? Things like that nature. So, I'd look at Josh Berry probably today as being one of the absolute best at that world, coming in through the late model stock ranks that he did. I remember a race he ran at Myrtle Beach. It might have been the last one at Myrtle Beach, where he fell all the way around to be about a lap down to the leader and rode there in front of that guy for 40 laps, and then with 30 to go or something took off and drove all the way back around past that leader and won the race. You know what I mean? So I have no clue how to do that. I remember me racing at Berlin trying to ride around and save tire, and then their caution came out. There was a restart with 10 to go or 15 to go, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go get them now. I had nothing to go with, So that's the biggest thing that I see sometimes is like, how hard are you pushing? Really, you kind of don't know until it's time to go. But I think you're going to see different strategies, and if that race goes green the whole way, it's going to be way more beneficial to the guys that are up front and have the track position, versus if a caution comes out, it's going to be way more beneficial to those that rode and saved a little bit.
Hey, Kyle, Pete Iacobelli, Associated Press. How did it feel we're honoring the 75 greatest drivers in NASCAR history? How does it feel being on that list? Did you expect that when you knew it was coming? And what was your reaction to it?
I think that I guess to answer, did I expect that? Yeah, I did. So it wasn't necessarily going to be a surprise, but I feel like it's a cool honor and a humbling one in that to be a part of that group, just with my past successes and all the people that have brought me to this point of my career. It wouldn't have been possible without the very beginning of time racing in Vegas, Legends cars, late models, all the way through the ranks to get to the top, and then all the great team members that I've worked with from HMS, JGR, now RCR. So obviously you take that as much as you can with the accolade and the things that you've done, and to say that you've had a really good career is great. Obviously, hopefully it's not over.
Kyle, I heard that you thought perhaps you were getting a call to be kind of admonished about something when you saw the phone buzz about it.
No, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of somebody else. That might have been Denny.
Yeah.
But nobody called me, so yeah.
We'll go to Claire, Bob, Deb, and Al.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I was talking to a driver yesterday. I'm like, how hard is it to pass at Darlington? And the young driver was talking about, well, that's where Dale Jr.'s slide comes in, right? What are, slide jobs, or how you pass here, or what makes it difficult on the driving side of it at a place like this? We always talk about the lady in black and being sucked in, but what is it like to try to pass here or navigate a race? What makes it tough?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that makes it tough is just the one groove, one lane racetrack here, where it's very narrow and there's kind of one way of getting around turns 1 and 2 for sure. You go in low, you wash up to the wall, you turn back down off of turn 2. 3 and 4 is a little bit more racy because you can go low, you can go high, but as tires wear, everybody tends to migrate to the top and be in the top. So it's hard to find that clean air in order to get enough front downforce under your car to make it turn and not get tight behind that guy in front of you. So that's the biggest deficit, and that's what makes it really, really tough here. I remember 2008 when they first repaved this place. We were running around. I was leading, and I caught Juan Montoya as a lap car, and I couldn't pass him for 20 laps. And second place caught me and actually got by me, for the lead, and then got by Montoya, and I was still stuck behind Montoya. So there is a trend here of how to make passes and stuff. And the slide job, whoever that is with the slide job, better go back and watch recent history, because nobody lets you in. So if you try to throw it off into the corner underneath somebody and wash up in front of them, you're going to crash, because that guy's going to stuff it back on your outside. So that doesn't happen anymore these days. Anybody letting you in.